What's going on YouTube? So say you want to drive a muscle car, but you have a big family. Well, what should you buy? This might be it right here. This is the 2026 Dodge Durango SRT Hellcat Jailbreak. So that's right, we now have a jailbreak version for 2026 of this Durango. And we're gonna tell you all about this. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So let's jump into the exterior design. Now, of course, when it comes to the Hellcat model, this really takes the Durango formula and cranks it up to the max. And when we're talking about the jailbreak, what that really means is the same thing as it meant in the past when they applied it to other Dodge products. It means you really can go heavy-handedly on the customization. Really, whatever type of configuration you want, that's how you can order this Durango. And you can make some really awesome combinations. So, in terms of what we have on this model, we have green machine paint. As you can see, we've got the performance stripe that kind of runs down the center. And we'll show you some more elements as we go through. Obviously, as you can see, you've got those prominent hood scoops through there, the big ol' Hellcat grille through here with your prominent SRT branding. Really aggressive lower fascia, feeding in all that air into the big ol' supercharged V8 engine. And then as far as our headlights are concerned, you have projector LED headlights with the top and bottom daytime running light and turn signal indicator. Now moving on to the wheels, we have a 20-inch silver finished alloy. This is one of 6 different designs that you can choose from. On the jailbreak model, you can also customize the brake caliper color. You have 4 different choices. As you can see, we chose the yellow option, which I think really pops. This is an overall super cool combination. We have the matching yellow finish for the badges. And by the way, when I was talking about the stripe up there in the front, you have 5 different stripes that you can choose from as well, including a new black hood. Now, as we move up here to our mirrors, we've got a gloss black finish on board. And of course, you're gonna find the standard affair of technology, including blind spot monitoring.
Now at the side, even though you might be the coolest parent on the entire block, this is still a family 3-row SUV, so overall vehicle length is sitting at a little over 200 inches long. This is a pretty big 3-row SUV. Now as far as design touches, all of our window surrounds will be black here on the lower area. We're not going to have any roof rails or anything up top for that nice sleek look. And by the way, if you want a very specific exterior color, Dodge says that you can actually work with a concierge to get whatever color you want on your Dodge Durango, which I think is quite cool. It's kind of like an element out of a Rolls Royce. Now, as far as the rear design is concerned, this is a really cool looking SUV. I think it's actually aged quite well. So up here at the top, we have a spoiler. We also have a rear window wiper. As far as the taillight itself, it is going to be full length all the way across the back. You won't mistake it for anything else out on the road at nighttime. You have an LED brake light and LED turn signal indicator. Your reverse light is still going to be incandescent though, so that's something to keep in mind. We have all of our Durango branding, of course the stripes, our SRT branding, and then down here in the lower fascia, of course, you have big exhaust outlets because this thing has absolutely phenomenal exhaust sound. Let's go ahead and take a listen. And if you're curious about towing, this should be able to tow around 8,700 pounds, just like the other Hellcat version. And as far as your safety systems are concerned, because this is a very expensive Dodge Durango, you will have all of your safety systems included. But guys, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to the interior as well. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We started young, and since then, we've reviewed over 2,000 cars at every price point.
And if you want to know about all the latest and greatest rides, then make sure to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family.
Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the newest cars. Now let's move to the inside. Here's a quick look at the key. As you can see, we've got the red key. That's the key you want to have. And you have the smart entry system with remote start. Getting inside, there's a sensor behind the door handle, which will unlock the door. And then let's take a look at the interior. So when it comes to the Jailbreak, just like with the exterior, you unlock a lot of extra customizability. Dodge says there's going to be 5 different interior color choices that you can pick. You can also match that with 4 different seatbelt colors. So as you can see, this one is, going to be one of your more subdued options. We just kind of have the black design with the silver looking seatbelt and accent stitching. I think it's very clean and classy. I'm sure there's some bolder options as well. The seats themselves have Napa leather on the outside edges, as well as Alcantara through the center section, and your very prominent SRT branding. Down below, we've got all of our adjustments, including 4-way lumbar support. And let's climb on inside. Closing up the door, let's look around at the cabin materials. Nice little animation on the screen there. We have a leather material that runs across the armrest with a stitching detail, carbon fiber through the center section, soft touch plastic up top, soft touch plastic along the upper dashboard, more carbon fiber. You can see your dedicated Jailbreak logo there, showing that you have the special model leatherette running through there, and more carbon fiber and leather material along our console area. Now let's go ahead and fire it up. Of course, having that nice supercharged V8 has a distinct sound even at the startup. Oh yeah, that's definitely a Hellcat. Let's jump into some individual details. Now before I get into this, I of course will point out the Durango's been around for quite a while. We have been in several of them, including a Hellcat last year. So if you want really all the nitty-gritty details of the interior, you can go and check out that video. I'm just going to kind of go through some of the highlights real fast. We'll begin with the gauge cluster. As you can see, partially digital cluster with some reconfigurable dimensions where you can kind of go through and change that stuff. We don't have a head-up display on this model though. Got that signature SRT steering wheel, super meaty. You've got those metal paddle shifters up here at the top of the wheel as well, which makes this super fun to drive. And then of course, it's still a 3-row SUV, so you've got plenty of storage, including inside the center console. As you can see, quite deep with a felt lining inside. There's also a little cubby above that. 2 cup holders and a wireless phone charging pad. As far as the shifter, easy to use. Bump over here to activate your manual mode. Go into reverse. There's your backup camera. No fancy smancy 360 camera or anything like that. This is kicking it old school, but it does have active trajectory and you have front and rear parking sensors. And no electronic parking brake, but you have the physical one over here on that side of the brake pedal. As far as your climate controls, a lot of people will be happy to see this keeps your physical climate controls, nothing complicated here. Just adjust your temperature up and down with the big buttons there, and you can change that fan speed right through there. Heated and ventilated seats are included. You have heated steering wheel and a big old volume knob for the available audio system. You can choose between Alpine or Harman Kardon sound systems. Now below the climate controls, I just want to point out, got a couple buttons there, which I'm sure the owners will be utilizing quite frequently, including the launch control, which was certainly a blast for us to use last year. And you have some additional performance gauges that you can take a look at inside of this main infotainment system. Now, speaking of the infotainment system, we have a little over 10-inch display. It has Uconnect 5.0 with built-in navigation. You also have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And like I was saying, you have some additional SRT controls. Up top, we have an auto-dimming mirror. HomeLink remotes are located right there, and and up top, we do not have a sunroof.
And now let's quickly take a look at the rear seats. As far as this area is concerned, there's a ton of room. This is a 3-row family SUV, and it's a good one at that. So as far as the rear legroom is concerned here in the second row, we're sitting at about 39 inches of legroom, as well as about 40 inches of headroom. Those are really quite impressive figures, guys, for this segment, that is for sure. So you're not really sacrificing anything for all that performance. Now, we are in a very limited time frame with this product, so I don't have time to get out my rulers and all the measuring devices, but like Drew mentioned a couple times at this point, we do have a dedicated SRT Hellcat review that we did last year that has all those details in it, so you won't be missing out much. Now, as far as the center area, we have a fold-down armrest, and I want to point out you can get bench seat back here. You can also get captain's chairs if you prefer. There are several different seating capacities for the Durango, depending on what matters most to you. Now, as far as features are concerned, here in the center, we have rear vents. We additionally have USB ports, a household style outlet, and we even have heated back seats as well. Our climate controls are integrated up here in the roof. You even have temperature adjustment, and our vents are going to be coming right out above your head. As far as the door trim is concerned, it's a lot of soft touch plastic through here. We have some more of that carbon fiber, leather on the armrest portion, and then a little bit of door storage down below. And let's check out the third row as well. In order to get back here, all you have to do is locate this little handle right here. That will actually fold the seat down. Then you have this little strap back here that will release the seat and kind of tilt it out of the way. You would have to remove a child seat though, so keep that in mind. You have two third row seats back there. And let me go ahead and quickly climb in. When I climb back here into the third row, I think this is one of the most impressive elements about the Durango. We have about 33.5 inches of leg room and a lot of headroom as well. So when it comes to third rows, this is one of the very best three-row, mid-size SUVs that you can get. That's for sure. So depending on what you're comparing this with, you're gonna be very impressed. That's for certain. Now, as far as features, we have cup holders here on the side. We have vents in the center of our roof here, and there are just two seats back here. But as far as how this rates on the third row rating scale, because of how comfortable it is back here, I'm actually going to say this is going to be fit for adults. Now, walking up to the tailgate area, I love the V8 burble, that's for sure. If we open up the tailgate, it's going to have a power one, of course. And as far as cargo capacity is concerned, we have quite a lot of that as well. So you're sitting at 17 cubic feet behind the third row, 43 cubic feet behind the second row, and a maximum of 85 cubic feet. So those are pretty good space figures. And, by the way, if you are comparing this to another three-row SUV on the market, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/vehicle rankings. The reason you do that is because we have gone through and ranked all the three-row SUVs in different categories and ranked those in individual categories that might matter more or less to you. Things like cargo capacity, powertrain choices, interior technology, rear seat features, third row. All of those things are detailed for you. So if you want to make an informed buying decision, be sure to use our tool at carconfections.com/vehicle rankings. We have a just standard manual folding third row, so you just grab this little lever that's going to fold the seat down. There are not any handles to fold the second row, so I would have to go up there and do it manually, but like I said, I don't really have a lot of time today, so I won't be able to do that for you. And then underneath the floor, we have a little bit of extra space.
Now, we went ahead and popped the hood because, of course, this is really the star of the show. And last year when we filmed the Hellcat, we thought it was going away. Well, for 2026, it is thankfully back, and Dodge is not making any changes to this engine. So this is a 6.2-liter supercharged V8 engine, making 710 horsepower. Now, like we already mentioned, we did drive this last year, so we're going to go ahead and jump to some footage of that so that you guys can get a really good taste of what it's like to drive one of these Hellcats. Hint, it's a lot of fun.
Well, guys, here we are behind the wheel of the Dodge Durango Hellcat Silver Bullet. Now, of course, we're going to be discussing quite a few different things, in this test drive. We'll be getting our sound level reading, but way more important than that, we're going to start with a hard acceleration. Woo! Wow.
Well, there's a 0 to 60. Now, obviously, we were going a bit downhill there, but this doesn't need any help. It already has 710 horsepower to power this beast. Now, we haven't really talked about what's under the hood up until this point. A lot of you guys are probably familiar with that Hellcat engine. It's a 6.2-liter supercharged V8 engine. So in addition to giving you just gobs of power and torque, this does have that super distinct sound to it as well, because it is supercharged.
Yeah, the supercharger whine is like something you notice immediately as soon as you start driving this vehicle. You can, of course, hear the big burly V8 when it's, you know, just idling around, but the supercharger, when you start accelerating, oh my goodness, it's so unique sounding. Holy.
Oh my gosh.
We probably woke up the entire neighborhood.
Anybody that's within 5 miles probably heard that.
Oh my.
Well, this is actually our first time behind the wheel of the Hellcat Durango, and this really is a special experience. This is something we've been wanting to do for a long time, but, you know, for just whatever reason, never really presented itself as an opportunity. This is insane, though. It's absolutely crazy. In the best possible way. As far as the transmission is concerned, we've got an 8-speed automatic on board. Very nice and responsive transmission. It's really, really smooth as well. As soon as you put your foot down, you're obviously going to get an immediate response. We're in the sport mode right now. There is an additional track mode, which we're not on the track, so we're not going to try that out today. Yeah. But in terms of your different choices, that's what you have. You also have a customizable one down there at the end as well.
Traction control off, it says. So I don't know if...
Wow. So that was the launch mode. That somehow felt even faster.
Wow.
Holy crap.
Traction control off, it says. So I don't know if...
Wow. So that was the launch mode. That somehow felt even faster.
Wow.
Holy crap. That's really all you can say. That's the censored version of what I want to say.
Yeah, that is really brutally fast and so loud. Now, the reason you're able to do stuff like that so well is because you do actually have standard all-wheel drive when you choose the Hellcat. So that's going to really come on your higher powered versions of this. Durango is all-wheel drive is standard equipment, which certainly does help you put the power down in a nice fashion because, I mean, 710 horsepower, I think it's 645 pound-feet. Yeah, 645 pound-feet of torque. It's just so much power. It's just so hard to put it down. And the fact that you have all-wheel drive, I think, is a really good thing with this.
Yeah, you know, obviously, in addition to being more practical, this is going to be a little bit more manageable than, say, your Challenger and Charger Hellcats, which are also disappearing from the market.
Now let's talk pricing for this model. Now when it comes to the Hellcat Jailbreak, we don't have official pricing just yet. However, I do expect this to carry a pretty expensive price tag given how much power you have, how much luxury you have, and also how much customizability you have with this Jailbreak model. Of course, the Hellcat ranged quite a bit in price. It was well into the 6-figure price point if you got all the options before, so I do expect that to continue. And if you're looking to buy a Dodge Durango or any new vehicle, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. The reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, as well as things like our monthly payment tool, you can find a link to that in our video description, as well as a pinned comment down below. Now, as far as availability, Dodge is saying this should be available in Q4 of 2025. And guys, that's going to wrap up our in-depth first look review of the new 2026 Dodge Durango SRT Hellcat Jailbreak. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, which we hope you did, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to be a part of our Car Confections family. We have a lot of fun on this channel, and I promise you won't want to miss out. If you're already part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.